During the last 500 years, contact between white civilization and remote tribes has followed two routes, both with disastrous consequences for indigenous peoples. Today, when most tribes are reluctant about contact with outsiders, explorer Sebastian Tirtirau travels around the world, asking them what kind of future they want to build. Sebastian is heading to Montreal Airport for his upcoming expedition to the Canadian Arctic, where he will meet with the Inuit people. Except for the summertime when the sea ice melts, there's only one way to reach the Arctic region, and that is by plane. Our destination is Iqaluit, the capital of the Canadian province Nunavut, and the most important Inuit settlement in Canada. Despite covering an area that's similar in size to Western Europe, Nunavut has a population of approximately 30,000 inhabitants. What used to be one of the most difficult expeditions is today, thanks to modern technology, an easy 3-hour flight. The absence of taiga trees is the sign that we've entered the Arctic region. Since Iqaluit became the capital of Nunavut, many government officials and business people come here, and quite a few hotels have been developed. We struggle to find a place to stay, as most of them are fully booked. We soon understand why.
Yeah, the whole city's sold out.
The whole city is sold out?
Yeah.
Okay. What's happening? Why is
There's an international mining symposium, so we have like miners from all over the world coming.
In the lobby, two old friends, Joshua and Natsik, are waiting for Sebastian.
See you. How are you?
Good to have you back.
4 years.
Hi.
How are you, my friend?
Good, good.
Nice to see you.
Yeah.
How are you?
Good.
Oh, look at that, look at that.
White, huh?
Lots of fur.
I need this here.
Okay, then.
Very nice to see you.
Yeah.
Good
See you.
to see you.
Yeah.
Bye.
Chief! I have to say that Iqaluit has changed since the last time I've been here. It's about 4 years since I last came here. It used to be a smaller town of about 6,000 people, and they say now it's over 8,000 and it keeps growing and keeps growing.
Since 1999, when Nunavut became a province of Canada, the population of Iqaluit has grown exponentially. Today, more than a quarter of Nunavut's population lives here. Later, Sebastian wants to meet with the whole family to catch up with the local news.
How are you? And we met together first time, and how you helped me and how you helping the community.
Okay. Okay.
Now, happy birthday.
Oh,
I have to hug you.
okay.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
It's Natsik's birthday, but she's not the only one to receive a gift.
Right.
That's a watch for you.
That's a watch for me, and I don't have one.
You don't?
Sebastian believes it's polite to bring gifts whenever you visit friends.
Here's what I got for you guys.
Awesome.
iPod Nano. You don't know how to use this, yeah?
I do.
You know how to use this? Good stuff. It's yours, my friend.
Whoa. Thank you.
It's not all.
He wasn't even expecting it.
When I came in 2005 for the first time in the Arctic, I arrived in Iqaluit, and the first family I met was Joshua and Natsik Kango. They built me a traditional fursuit to be able to be warm in the expeditions we're gonna do together. And Natsik and several ladies built me my parka, my caribou parka, my caribou pants, and the sealskin comics or the boots. -50. Minus 50. As soon as my suit was finished, Joshua and I went on the ice with a dog sled. He wanted to show me around how a dog sled is managed, is led, how he would harness the dogs and what they do in these surroundings to survive. When you shoot the polar bears, when you shoot the seals, how do you bring them in from the water?
I don't understand.
When you
I'm
shoot,
not very good English.
no problem.
Okay.
I learned very quickly how great and amazing people these people are and how great survivors they are. In a very harsh place, in my opinion, the Inuit tribe are the toughest nation that I've ever seen in all my travels around the world. When I first came here in 2005, most of these people were still traveling by dogs, and although they had ski-doos and snowmobiles, most of the families had dog teams. The ice on the Frobisher Bay was full of dog teams tied down for each family. As I came now, there's nothing.
One of the Arctic's best guides lives here in the city. Her name is Mika, and Sebastian wants to talk to her to understand the reason behind the dog's disappearance.
This is Mika,
Hi.
the greatest female guide in the whole world.
I haven't been guiding for 5 years.
Oh man. Since last time we came here.
Yeah. From where?
South America, Peru,
Wow.
in the jungle.
That's where I would like to go, but I don't think I would survive the heat.
It's very hot.
Yeah.
What's the cause that there's no more dogs? Because in 2005 when I came here first time, this whole thing was full of dogs down here. Why?
There's been a lot of diseases since Iqaluit have become a city. A lot of new people moving, and many dogs now, different kinds of dogs. So every year Joshua and I kept losing dogs.
Yeah.
And that year we took you, I had a young team who survived, and then after you left, most of them died again. So every year it's been like that for the last 10 years. But these ones are finally surviving the disease.
Now, is this has to do anything with the dog food that they were giving you to feed, or what?
We get our own dog food. It's because huskies are, or Inuit we call them, are purebred. They never had contact for thousands of years
with other dogs.
with other dogs.
Yeah.
And just in the last 10 years, there's more dogs than huskies, than Inuits, pet dogs, that bring the disease from the south. Just like when we had first contact with Europeans, our ancestors died off.
Of diseases from Europeans?
Yes, there were 2 epidemics in the 200 years.
So it has to do with the coming of the South and the civilization and everything. Yeah. So there's no way that we can. I'd like to do at least a few hours of dog sled up here on the bay and come back. So there's no way we can find a dog team in Iqaluit.
There's dog team, but they're not Inuit.
Okay.
Det man ingenting
I'm not interested.
In recent years, outsiders have started to set up their own dog teams and use them for guided tours of the wilderness. These adventures can cost up to $3,000 per day, which means survival skills can be good business. In many ways, Iqaluit has become a place where business stifles Inuit culture and survival. Today, no one uses dogs for transportation anymore. Instead, the sleds are pulled by skidoos, and the Inuit rely upon cars for urban transportation. Banks, hotels and restaurants now hold more appeal than the simple customs of community life, and real estate developers have replaced igloos with houses and condos.
Our expectations had been raised. We were now looking for work and we were not so much dependent on hunting anymore. We were looking for work. We were looking what to do or getting into business, and especially in Rankin Inlet, because Rankin Inlet, when the mine was operating, it created an opportunity for some people to get into business. And even when it closed down, it gave them an opportunity to go to other mines elsewhere to go and work.
The mining industry is currently the largest private employer of Indigenous people in Canada. The Arctic region is rich in gold, diamonds and platinum, but the major stakes are in natural gas and oil. In 2009, the US Geological Survey estimated that the Arctic holds nearly a third of the planet's natural gas reserves and 13% of the remaining oil. In Canada, 33% of the remaining recoverable resources of natural gas and 35% of the light crude oil are located in the Northwest Territories, Nunavut and the Arctic offshore. In 2008, in the Beaufort-Mackenzie Basin region alone, 6 new oil exploration licenses were issued for a total work expenditure commitment of $1.2 billion. Every year, new exploitation platforms are being set up and more Inuit people are being employed. With the arrival of jobs and money, there also came a clear tendency to switch from hunting and gathering in the wilderness to shopping at the supermarket. Here you can find anything, including goods the Inuit had never even heard about until recently. However, the prices are exorbitant, and there's no way most of them can pay nearly $50 for a crate of bottled water, or $12 for a slice of meat.
Tema kisutuina kitopaleng mata imaitunig lo kalasuta akilastri yaya kalasutaro agla imam ni isumana parang ito taman no nagigatigo imam akili yaya kalawasemana sibilang ito silik kunon hamala kunon akilastri taw kataratigo no nagigaro hatigo oktoro ham kotisiute pitakalang tiatu na tipiting na udlome umachuti tayo lagalaga umanasunita aglano namon isumana parang ito no nagigatigo no namo akilastri laga isang 130,000 akilastri no natin ito kapag ito ako tiyo.
Many Inuit still hunt and fish for their food, even here in Iqaluit. However, there's a price to pay, especially during springtime, when even the most experienced can meet their death by falling through the treacherous ice. Just a few days ago, one of Natsik's relatives died in a similar accident. Such tragedies are a reminder that this is a truly hostile environment. For Joshua, there's only one way to stay safe: to prepare well. He and his family are getting ready for a few days of hunting and fishing in the wilderness.
Well, it's 7 o'clock in the morning. Friday morning we are preparing to go fishing. It's coldish, not too bad. It's about minus 25, minus 30, and we're gonna have 4 ski-doos and 5 sleds that we're gonna pull to go out fishing. This is my favorite event of all the things that I can do here with them. And it's exciting now to see how, even though they live in 21st century and they live in modern houses with heating and electricity and cars and they have a job, they still survive off the land in the Arctic. So this is something unique to this tribe.
Every time they step outside the comfortable environs of the city, most Inuit still wear their fur clothes. Though they're difficult to put on, no other clothes are as suitable for the harsh climate here. When everything is ready, the caravan sets off in search of Arctic charfish along the Sylvia Grinnell River, a few dozen miles from Iqaluit. After just a few days fishing, we'll move on to Frobisher Bay to hunt seal. Joshua is experienced in such expeditions. He knows that low temperature and strong wind form a combination that can push the human body to the limits of endurance. Though no one is complaining of cold or exhaustion, every 2 hours he has the caravan pause for a snack. Hot tea and a bite of cake increase the chances of everyone's survival, even on the longest trips. While such stops are beneficial for the expedition team, they're harmful for the vehicles. At minus 30 degrees Celsius, water freezes instantly and even gasoline can turn to ice. But Joshua has a simple solution for everything. Using the heater, he melts snow until it boils and uses the hot water to try to defrost the system.
Having no dogs and having to use transportation, living in the costly world today, we are regretting and regretting more. But at the same time, we are gaining this different knowledge. We're adapting to a new survival, but we have to learn.
If this doesn't work, then we'll have to take the whole engine apart, a seriously difficult task at these temperatures. But before that, it's worth trying once more with the hot water. Luckily, the engine starts, and we're ready to set off towards the fishing grounds. After a few hours' ride, we reach the frozen riverbed. The first thing we do, before even setting up camp, is to set the fishing net. Illy and Andrew, Joshua's boys, help him to break a hole in a sheet of ice that's over 1 meter thick. Like the good apprentice that he is, Sebastian does the groundwork himself. After half an hour's work, they break through the ice sheet. While the net is laid out for measurement, Joshua takes out the magic tool that will help him insert the net under the ice. Once it's cleaned to make sure it doesn't get stuck, he inserts the ice jigger through the hole down into the water. It will then float, and he pulls the rope to start up the propulsion system. The ice jigger will crawl on to the desired distance.
And then how does he know what to dig on the other side?
He then listens for the scratching of the jigger. He marks the spot and bores through the ice to bring the jigger back up.
Good job. Good job.
Once the jigger has pulled a wire between the two holes, the net can be easily set.
Okay. Tent.
Tent? Yeah, let's put the tent up. Joshua, I learned to have great respect for him. He's extremely organized, and he not only takes care of him and his family while we go, but everybody involved, even the foreigners and the visitors and so forth. You know what I remember the best, and you can tell him? In 2005 when I first came, and we went on the ice on the Frobisher Bay. All the dogs, after about 2 hours, he stopped, he made me tea with some very long, dry rusks, very dry bread. And we dipped in the tea, the two of us, and we sat there. It was the best memory I have. I was very, very cold and very, very afraid of the cold, and he really took good care of me.
Early in the morning, we go to check the nets. Once set, a net needs to be taken out 2 or 3 times a day. This time, a few Arctic char have been caught, each weighing around 8 pounds.
Cristiana, 1950, Hollywood Delton on Nikugama. Sokosilung, Uwikaupadelunga. Taken a Shimar Tokarong, Sokosilimati, Shimar, and Mahawiman, and Matame, Chinarang, taken it. Umayoksilna, the Hakaman of Tapa, Neriaman, Tapato, never woman with potassium, never bring me a potisimatinata.
When the wind picks up, the ice particles in the air create 2 halos that circle the sun. If we want to reach our destination by sunset, we'll need to pack up and head for Frobisher Bay for the seal hunt. Although transportation is now motorized, these vehicles cannot tow such heavy weights up steep slopes. The heavier sleds are tied to 2 skidoos, but even so, they often need an extra push. If any of the skidoos hit the rocks and break down, then we'll be in trouble. Our loads are too heavy and cannot be carried by fewer snowmobiles, and this will bring our progress to a halt. In these low temperatures, it's vital to avoid serious effort and excessive perspiration, which could lead to exposure. Fortunately, there are many of us here, and together we can get the snowmobiles back on track. We finally arrive in the right spot. For For Joshua, these expeditions aren't just about hunting for food. They're also a good opportunity to teach the youngsters how to survive in this desolate, harsh environment. Hallie, Joshua's grandson, will see an igloo built today. Although they're sleeping in a tent now, building an igloo can be vital out here. The snow has to be perfect, not too hard and not too soft. The blocks are laid close together so they support each other.
Amma kisutuina inga kajibisen nikitsen niverwingmen akijukjong likanila matatekani kisena kanayang nikun umayun nara to kawyamakko yakatratuma amma ayonna sisitawali yakatratulu aksyon nan saktakara to tawana kawyamayu.
Joshua is building using the snow from inside the igloo itself, since this method requires minimal effort. The upper layers must be set in a spiral so that the blocks support one another. Once the last block is in place, the structure is solid. Building an igloo is a tough job that can only be done by experienced hunters. It's April and the ice on Frobisher Bay is starting to melt, which makes hunting extremely dangerous. Joshua tests the ice with a metal rod and shows us which way we need to go.
Mona.
This tiny boat, though hard to carry around on such uneven ground, is extremely useful, both in case the ice breaks and for retrieving seals after they're shot. As we come closer to the area where the ice has thawed, we make noises that are transmitted through the thin layer of ice. Seals are curious creatures and will swim to the surface to see where the noise is coming from. This is the perfect moment to aim and shoot.
Got it, my friend. Whoa, 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 whoa.
Once the seal is shot, it will float for a short time. Joshua jumps into the boat and races to catch the seal. If he isn't fast enough, the seal sinks under the ice and is lost. Back at the tent, Joshua is cutting up the seals. Nothing is wasted. Everything is used from the fur to the intestines.
Sunnatin tukoy hataya hakona tusi umayuri matiani imanay palyatiliwi sibunikan ni cinta ko sang niwaro na kuming mata nakitsoy nanay kawo sa tao sa mga ito na nakakuyaw yun nila tala kasuling mayuma.
I want to be able to go down on the land and live the way I want to live, with no restrictions, with no rules, and hunt all I want and do all I want, and enjoy life the way it used to be. We want to be given a room to live the way we would like to, peacefully, with our environment. We Inuit are not forceful people. The only force we use is to survive.
What did you find it? Pearl! Where did you find it? Is what?
That's the eye.
Ah, it's the eye of the seal. I thought
Yeah.
it's an oyster.
Yeah.
The following day, Joshua and Natsik invite lots of people to their house.
You recognize me?
I'm Sebastian.
Yes.
In the Arctic, food is difficult to procure, and it's a deeply held Inuit belief that survival is only possible when food is shared. Any hunter that has a good catch invites people for a meal. Many kinds of meat are served today. Some caribou meat is being cooked for visitors, but people here prefer meat that is raw and frozen. Whale skin is cut into small pieces and is even given to children. Reindeer stomach is eaten raw, with the half-digested grass still inside it. Since this environment is poor in vegetation, the Inuit had to come up with resourceful ways to get vitamins from their food in order to avoid diseases like scurvy. During the feast, Malaya, Natsik's daughter, and Alexia, her niece, are rehearsing some traditional throat-singing pieces. Passing on their songs is one way to keep their culture alive.
Incredible stuff. Incredible stuff.
That's dry too.
In the evening, once the guests have left, Natsik cleans the fat and fur off the sealskins with an ulu knife.
Skin.
Oh yes. Oh yeah, like thick skin. But it's so
Really
soft.
nice.
It's amazing. It's soft.
Beautiful. Indeed.
Natsik, you're gonna like the film I'm gonna show you. And the whole world will know who Natsik Kango and Joshua Kango is. They will visit you for autographs.
They will? They will. I want to see those people.
And they will bring you gifts from all over the world.
You know, the only gift I want from anybody is friendship.
Great stuff.
Natsik is managing the family business, a car repair shop. Her employees are doing a good job here where vehicles are tested to their limit.
She stays where she is. Okay? And I have them to film me.
After work, she goes to the Senior Citizens Club, where she volunteers from time to time. This time, she brings Sebastian with her. During his previous visits, many Inuit asked him for Bibles in their own language. He found out that a long time ago, the Canadian Bible Society printed Bibles in Inuktitut, the Inuit language, although they never made it out here to the community. Instead, they lay forgotten somewhere in a warehouse. Some 60 years ago, the Senior Citizens Club was the community itself, and there were no homeless people on the streets. Today, there is much homelessness in Iqaluit, and some of them gather here in this shelter to eat and socialize. Soon, this shelter won't be able to meet the needs of the community, considering the growing problem of homelessness in Iqaluit today.
When I was growing up, I don't remember anybody being homeless. And before that, there was really nobody homeless. People took care of each other. People knew each other, so they had the support systems.
1955, there was only 67 people here.
Not so long ago, 50 years ago, like a lot of changes happened abruptly over the course of 50 years up north.
We went from hunting and gathering, when I was a little boy, hunting and gathering, living in igloos, to all of a sudden, 20 years later, we have houses, we're traveling. Some communities had radio, telephones, and television.
Ayoksan taking a pia for the doctor, Kino Yaman to Kishanaki, Kishutaun, the two Majosi, William in the south of Paleruta.
Real fast growth. I don't think there's anywhere in this world where there's been that kind of growth in the sense of nothing to establishing in 1955. Here we are, not too long, one generation, we're 7,000 in Iqaluit alone. It's crazy, and yes, it creates, obviously there's going to be social impacts.
The federal government started what's called the residential schools. So a lot of us had to go, there was no schools in the communities, but they built a school in a place called Chesterfield Inlet.
The government of Canada, together with the Catholic Church, decided to civilize the Inuit. The first step was to destroy their nomadic style of life by killing their dogs and taking their children to residential Catholic schools. Once settled, the Inuit were much easier to control. Unfortunately, rounding up hunter-gatherers and forcing them to live in settlements has been tried in many countries, never with much success.
Whether it was going from hunting and gathering to a wage economy or going to school, but while in school, going through some unpleasant things like sexual abuse or emotional, physical abuse, it had a very impact on our lives later on.
With the older generations, there's been a lot of apathy. Why? For so many reasons. When you think about residential school, how they were abused. And there's, unfortunately, when things happen in life, if you don't stop it, there's cycles. Certainly with residential school survivors, they were abused. Physically, mentally, emotionally. And because those people did not deal with it, they were ashamed of what happened to them. When they came home later on, what did they turn to? Drugs and alcohol to deal with it. And when they're in that state, they're doing exactly what was done to them, in a sense. So that cycle is happening.
If I were to ask Kaluna or Western people or any other race to come and ask them a question in my own language and force them to answer me with the right answer, would they?
There had always been that policy, federal government policy, that our life was not good enough, so we should become like white people.
More and more young people, young generation, loses the touch with the land and the knowledge of the land. I'm wondering if these young people, the young children of the Inuit, will be able to know what the old people are knowing now in 10 or 15 years from now. It's going to be a very, very interesting chemistry to see if the older generation is teaching the young generation to survive like they did before, and if the young generation accepts this knowledge and continues to survive by it.
In recent years, more and more organizations have been attempting to provide meaningful alternatives for the young in order to keep them away from drugs and alcohol. One such project is the annual skills competition. After a long period of enforced civilization, it seems that the government strategy is actually working. A couple of generations are forced to adopt a new lifestyle, and later ones take it up for themselves willingly.
Cristiana karotang idul dagani. Cristiana una inu singa sukak tau daga simuman. Imiaru angayan na tau nunarin atuk tau daga silu inu singa na jagat cakap tau daga iman. Cristiana una inu sika jama tau aur na jama yamening aur na kauma Apata gawa makut ikayok tiara kakasugi yakarwa ketaka kuninga teko ino sika yamajamini ino sika kumayan gawa makut ikayok tutau ni gudlu mikisitu na kisitu ruang raslu ayong na tiara to imiaro angayan na to ino sitin sokasi malakita.
Here in Iqaluit especially, in 20 years from now, it'll be one chaotic life. Because of the middle-aged people are bearing children that are FAS FASD. And at that time, we will have many of those children as adults in a chaotic lifestyle.
Onuktuare utakamangitan. Kachina kuru iteikua atudlagadautu inavisa kadlagadautu nunarichoasilatane peronnikuin ja teiku utakamainattu kisiani ajonnaksi jullumi ukkujutissa igasiun gaasiingan kajutissa akitsuduktuangulatsilugaamakkullueq ikajutissan tamakkulunga saqqittijunnagati sapilattut taimeninga tuinartumana teiku utakamayunnarunanga tagla taimeittoqataviyunga.
We'll never forget the past because it's part of who we are. But we need to look at where are we today? Where do we want to be?
We're not going to go back to our old way of life, but what we want to do is ensure that our identity remains as Inuit, proud to be Inuit.
So it's going to be a huge difference. I can see it growing again in Iqaluit as an example. It'll double again in 10 years.
Halli belongs to the new generation. Will he choose to return to his traditions, or will he decide to pursue the Western path? For the moment, he's not thinking about such big questions. He's just passionate about hockey. Before leaving, Sebastian wants to visit the museum in Iqaluit.
Now, this is for seal?
Yeah, for shield and for shield too. Yeah.
And this? Fish?
Fish.
Ah, to
Yeah.
spear the fish. That's how I looked in my first year here. My first Inuk suit.
One clear sign that something is disappearing is when it becomes an exhibit in a museum. More and more Inuit come here with their children to see things that they experienced while growing up in their communities.
In this environment, I think that eventually, if you don't know how to survive off the land, and when you go into an expedition, they will suffer in the future. Because there's no way you can compare this to a place like Los Angeles or Seattle or San Francisco. This is a very special place that you need to know to survive.
In the next episode, Sebastian visits the Nafe tribes in the South Pacific islands of Vanuatu.